Okay. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, they're busy as well. 231-332-6505 is the number. 231-332-6505. Maybe a first-time mortgage is in the future for you. Maybe you're looking for a refi, get some money out of your house. Or you're just, looking to get a new house. Try Mario. Do, of course, try the other guys, too. Interview all of them, and I promise you, Mario will win out on that. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Call them, and then check it out for yourself. On your mark, get set, go!
And now, here's a guy who looks like something that I would draw with my left hand.
You're so ugly you can be a modern art masterpiece.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome in to the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is an expletive-filled rant covering news, nonsense, and my personal stories. What a riff. I got my guitar in the background over there. I don't even know how to play it. It's actually not, well, it's kind of my guitar. It's been in my possession for like half a decade, more than that. That's the guitar that actually was awarded my old show, Free Beer and Hot Wings. We won that guitar, and I said, hey, can I take that home? I'd like to try to play it. And from that point forward, it never really left my house. And I still think they want the guitar back at some point. I don't know. Wouldn't that be something if I showed up and I said, hey, I wanted to give you the guitar back. It's officially not mine, but if you do end up selling it, could I have a few bucks for it? Jimmy from Maine wants to teach me how to play that thing. It needs a new set of strings. It can't even, doesn't stay in tune at all. Those strings are probably are as old as the guitar. I might have put a new set on them. But away we go. So I figure with all these live streams you see of people, they always got a guitar behind them, whether they know how to play it or not. So I figured I'd just put mine there. I'd put that one there and leave it hanging around. As you enjoy this podcast, there's several places you can get it. Of course, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I am getting a little bit of an idea that it might be a little buggy on the viewing, which might mean freezing and things like that. Don't worry about it. Nothing I can do. It's just one of those things that happens from time to time. If you do get in the weeds on one of the feeds, try it. If you're on Facebook and that sucks, try YouTube. And I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but hopefully it'll work its way through. Getting a little bit of oddness. Hopefully it'll straighten out. And as always, I have the audio podcast ready to go, free for you to download at any time. That at ericzaneshow.com. I've got hundreds of shows up there for you to listen to. And you can also listen right off of my website, ericzaneshow.com. All right, a lot of ground to cover today on the show. I've got, this recap of Fear Bunker Trivia is definitely on my brain. I want to talk about that to start the show instead of starting out talking about GD coronavirus, for crying out loud. That is in the news again. But, why wouldn't it be? It's the thing that the world is talking about. But first off, let me just tell you that around this amazing house, I ended the show Friday with the concerns about me actually getting done what I want, what my wife wants me to get done. They say happy wife, happy life. And that has always been true. You make that little lady happy, and, things are going to go your way. And I don't know what got into your old pal Eric, because normally when I'm faced with a ton of things to do, that's when I oh, God, I just put it off, and then it never gets done. I've got projects around this. I've got holes in various spots in my ceiling around this house where I've started a job. I mean, literally holes. And and then I talk about it in this podcast, and then Pellerito calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm going to come over and do that." I go, "No, stay away. I want to do it. I'm just gonna get around to it. I'm a get around to it type of guy." And judging by the cleanliness of the RV that you let me borrow last year, I think you're a get around to it guy. So you get around to your stuff, and I'll get around to mine, Pellerito. You had chicken on the grill that was 6 months old when I so don't, seriously. I don't know why I'm taking a run at you. All you do is help me. I think that's how it's going to be today. All right. So I left you on Friday with the idea that my wife wants to open up that swimming pool. I've never done that before. I've always had somebody do it, but I'm trying to cut costs. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then also the wood chips from Best Bark and Stone got dropped off. And now typically I let those stay there for half a year. We got it all done. Pool opened up, chemicals in it. We cleaned out the backyard. I trimmed all of the bushes like you wouldn't believe. And then we put down the mulch. And you know what the best part of this is? Every single person who lives here helped. And I didn't even have to lift one finger. I didn't have to raise a stink. They all just did it. And I was like, oh, my God, I've got my whole workforce here. So I had Diana, Eric, Madison, Jackie, and Justin all. I mean, it was so easy. This work was covered in an instant, and we had it all done, and I was so happy. And then Jackie decided to, mow the grass. What? Justin busts out the weed eater, and, they totally, I felt like I was like a Make-A-Wish recipient. Or you know how, the neighbor gets together and helps the old man in the neighborhood because he can't do anything anymore, so they all get together once a month or two and fix the old guy's house? That's what I felt like, and I was like, this is fantastic. Good thing we got it done, too, because on Sunday, Jesus, did it rain. Oh, and it's still going to rain again today and maybe tomorrow. It was just pouring. I mean, wind and rain like you would not believe, and it just kept raining all day long. My goodness. And so thank God we got that all taken care of. All right. Now, before I get to the recap of Fear Bunker Trivia on Friday, which I just cannot wait to play this audio for you. If you saw, some of you may have already seen it. I posted it on Facebook and linked it up on Twitter. It just had so much going for it, and I can't wait to play you the high point moment of Fear Bunker Trivia from Friday. A lot to cover. I am set and ready to go on Instagram with the Instagram Instant Trivia Challenge. This is something that I've been hashing out in my brain for quite some time, and I finally settled upon it. I have $10 gift card cash prizes. Well, it's not cash. It's a gift card, but it's as good as cash. I have sponsors. I'm going to talk about them. In fact, God, I don't even know how to describe Mike Ball's sponsor. But I know that Baldwin Ace Hardware is on board. And this is going to take place on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Little Debbie's from MB Distributing Incorporated. They're the ones who give me the Sugar Mountain to give away on Fear Bunker Trivia. And Baldwin Ace Hardware have teamed up and are sponsoring this contest Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Instagram only. If you don't know how this works out is this. If you follow me on Instagram, occasionally I go Instagram Live. That's going to happen Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I go live, you populate it, and then I click on a random name, and I ask you a trivia question. You've got 5 seconds to answer it. If you get it right, you get the $10 gift card from Little Debbie's from MB Distributing Incorporated or Baldwin Ace Hardware. If we finish the round and nobody's won, then it rolls over to the next week. All you got to do is follow me on Instagram. Search Eric Zane Show or Eric Zane, doesn't matter, on Instagram, and follow me. And then be ready to go Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's going to be fun. You better be quick on your feet. No cheating. You won't have time to cheat. You got 5 seconds. I'm going to go, all right, who's buried in Grant's tomb? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how much time you're going to have. Wednesday, 7 p.m. So today is the 18th of May. The 20th of May at 7 p.m. sharp, we are going to play Instagram Instant Trivia Challenge. Brought to you by Little Debbie's from MB Distributing Incorporated and Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thanks to those guys for sponsoring the bit. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Be ready. Okay, so Friday, I figured out how to take the Fear Bunker Trivia Challenge that I like to do right here in the studio with a number of Zane Show podcast listeners on Zoom and make it go live. Now, I'm telling you, what I did to make it go live was the same thing I tried to do when I tried it the first time. And I don't know what happened, but now it works. And it's probably operator error, but I swear I did it right the first time. So midway through it, I tried to go live, and it worked. So we picked up the game on Instagram, on Facebook Live, and we hadn't yet had a winner. So we had probably about another 40 minutes of game left, and so away we went. Now there's a few storylines here. A couple people were really blowing off some steam. The subjects in question are Kyler Wells and Kenny from Nashville. So Kyler and Kenny both seem to be the most rowdy. I don't know if Kyler was hammered or not. I know that Kyler is a really laughy, outgoing type of guy. I've met him in person before, and he's a super enthusiastic and always looking to crack a joke, really happy-go-lucky type of personality and just having a ball. Kenny from Nashville also is like that normally, but Kenny's personality is always kind of like, oh, man, come on, oh, man. He's kind of like that type of vibe to him, and he's definitely not a in-your-face type of dude. But one thing you add to the mix, booze, and all of the inhibitions of Kenny are out the window. And so he was just, oh my God, was he bombed. And I heard reports that as of yesterday, Sunday, this was Friday it happened, Sunday, he was still feeling the effects. He posted a picture online of the what was remaining in the bottles of booze. He was mixing 4 different bottles of booze, 3 of which was a product called gin and juice, which looked like some type of fruity concoction in a pint bottle. And those were like way down. There was barely any in any of them. And he was also hitting a bottle of Jägermeister. And wow, this guy, we saw him come unglued during the course of the Fear Bunker Trivia Challenge, and it was hysterical. I'm probably going to ruin all the people that were on it. I don't want to do the whole list of names. You can check it out for yourself, but I need to play you this one particular point. This is what I mean about Kenny just letting it fly. And by the way, Amanda won the whole thing, and she collected her prize the other day. She got $50 from Bennett Flooring Installation. And she received the Sugar Mountain from our pal Mike Ball, Little Debbie's from MB Distributing Incorporated. So, way to go. By the way, we're going to skip it this week because I've got plans. I'm going to be up at Fear Bunker North for the Memorial Day holiday. So I won't be able to do it. Don't worry, we'll be back. All right. This particular portion. It caught a lot of people off guard. It was considered to be the highlight of the entire evening. I asked Kyler his turn. It was his turn for the question. And the question was, what is the term to describe someone who stays in and watches television and consumes an entire season of a show in one sitting. What is that known as? Now, that is a very easy question. We all know it's binge watching. And but some of the questions on Fear Bunker Trivia are easier than others. He happened to get an easy question. So everybody was like annoyed that he got such an easy question. Now, Kyler, in a true dramatic, hilarious fashion, decided to say, oh, this is a softball. So he's actually standing up. He goes, this is a softball. Watch, here comes a pitch. And then he swings a bat. And he goes, that's a softball. And he gives the answer. Now, while he's doing that, you can see his whole upper half of his body. Now, Kyler would tell you that Kyler hasn't really been doing CrossFit or anything recently. And, he's probably looking to join the diet bet train with the Zaniacs. So, whatever. He's slightly porky, no big deal. And but no one's gonna say that. And the only reason why I'm saying it right now because it's pertinent to the story. He's a hefty fella. He's probably wearing a beefy tee. He was wearing an Eric Zane Show podcast T-shirt. I might have gotten him one of the big ones. Who gives a shit? Everybody's got a little bit of pork on him at one time or another. I am in that boat too. If you think about my big fat gut that I keep showing you video of. So I'm right there with you, Kyler. But Kenny, who normally would never say anything like this, drops some serious, I'll just play it for you. And then the aftermath, John from Jennison's laugh is what really kills me. Here you go. Enjoy.
This is a softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging. Nice boobs, Kyler.
We're getting...
Binging. Binging. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Good job, Kyler.
Nice boobs, Kyler.
This is a softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging. Nice boobs, Kyler.
We're getting...
Binging. Binging. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Good job, Kyler.
What a moment.
Nice boobs, Kyler. Nice boobs, Kyler.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure this that you will hear this time and again down the road. This.
Nice boobs, Kyler.
And also this.
Binging. Binging. Let's go. Let's go.
John's laugh makes me laugh. Holy crap.
Binging. Binging.
This part when he gets real high.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my God! Now, if you go to my Facebook, if you go to Twitter, you'll see that post. You can watch the reactions. Joe Moore and nearly everybody was laughing. Everybody, I was floored by it.
Nice boobs.
So, Kenny, you are a drop.
Nice boobs.
Forever.
Nice boobs.
So, we see somebody with some giant mams that need to be insulted.
Nice boobs.
We're gonna hear you.
Nice boobs.
And then maybe John.
Binging. Binging. Let's go. Let's go. Nice boobs.
What a time. It was fun. I wish you would join me for the next one. In order to play, you must be on Patreon. My gosh. All right. Speaking of Zoom, I have another Zoom event coming up. I said it was going to be Thursday at 6, but I've changed it. The Horizon Hydroponics Growers 101 is now Wednesday at 6. Wednesday at 6. I'm going to send the invite out today. There's a handful of you that want to be part of it. We'll be joining me as the moderator and John from Horizon Hydroponics with a little Q&A on everything you need to know if you have a question about growing stuff indoors. I know that Tim wants to actually grow like food indoors. I know that some others of you might want to grow, cannabis indoors. They can teach you all that stuff. So that happens on Wednesday. If you want to participate, I don't even care if you have no interest in this or whatever. You just want to sit and enjoy it. You can join me on Zoom for Growers 101. I will, and I'll hope, put it out on Facebook as well, same way we did the Fear Bunker Trivia Challenge. No reason why I can't. I did it once, should be able to, but, these things are finicky. That is the plan. Reach out to me via email if you'd like to actually be in and ask a question. And that you can ask as many questions as you want. It goes as long as it takes. That is Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Subject line, Growers 101 is what it must say. Send it along, and we'll take care of it that way. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you by these guys right over here, Green Clean Technologies. 989-560-7272. Cleaning critical environments, data centers, hospitals, the places where all the IT is when you walk in and you hear a hum from all of the computer power working together, and the nerve center of any institution, banking, it's got a data center. You must keep those critical environments clean, okay? And that isn't just have the cleaning lady go through with a mop. You got to have the right people doing it. That's where Green Clean Technologies comes into play. Call Zaniac Will, who I'll be interviewing this week to talk about his business. 989-560-7272 for Green Clean Technologies. Thank you to them for being on board with the show. You can find them greencleantechnologies.com. Great group over there. We really appreciate it. You being part of it. Also part of it, Joe Martinez from A&E Heating and Cooling. They, of course, have the Comfort Maker air conditioning and heating products installed into your home. The Comfort Maker air conditioning and heating. Comfort with confidence. Okay? Call Joe, 616-516-8579. You can get an air conditioning tune-up for just $79.99, normally $89. I'm sorry, not $79.99. Normally $89, now $79 when you mention the show. 616-516-8579. Some of you folks are on a regular schedule with Joe. He takes care of the furnace in the cold months, air conditioner in the warm months, and they're coming. They are coming, so reach out to Joe, 616-516-8579. Thank you, Joe, for sponsoring the Eric Zane Show podcast. All right, we've got protests in Michigan today. Shithead convention downtown Grand Rapids. I've got that, and I have created in my brain a composite of a West Michigan pandemic denier, and that is by observation. I will discuss that coming up a little bit later on. But first, I want to invite, got a few scragglers hanging around on the small business shout-out, part of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Tim Mayer from Shoreliners. You're like, what the hell is that?
Shoreliners, this is Tim.
Hey, Tim, how are you? It's Eric.
Zane, how are you, buddy?
I'm never better, man. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Just praying for this rain to stop sometime soon.
Yeah, it was bad yesterday, man. It was like hurricane force winds and the rain coming down in the area.
Well, it won't let up, buddy. It's still coming down.
Now, I want to talk about Shoreliners in a second, but I want to also talk about what is your moonlighting job that you do on the side of your business. Can you tell everybody the interesting thing that you do for a living?
I am an American Hockey League referee full-time.
You are an American Hockey League referee, and how long have you been doing that?
Well, if we can resume next season, that'll be my 12th full-time year with the American League.
So I've seen every year. I probably saw one of your first games here at the rink.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What was your first game at Van Andel, or was it out of town?
No, it was out of town.
All right.
Well, when I started my first games, I was still working in the ECHL when I got called up.
Gotcha. Well, we've seen a lot, and over the years, I would pull into the rink parking lot, and you and the linesman and maybe the other ref would be like warming up, maybe throwing a football around, doing your thing, and then before long, we started to talk about this podcast and your business. Tell everyone what Shoreliners is, Tim.
Shoreliners Striping we are a pavement marking, surface striping business. Paving inside, outside, parking lots, parking decks, schools, you name it, inside factory walkways, you name it, we'll paint it. And I think we move all around West Michigan, Traverse City, all the way down to Benton Harbor, over to Lansing, Kalamazoo, Muskegon, Holland, and obviously the greater Grand Rapids area, up to Big Rapids. So, we just provide striping for all different sorts of asphalt pavement companies, seal coat and sealing operations, as well as restripes for businesses large and small.
My gosh, how long have you been painting stripes?
This will be 7th year of business.
Oh my God! Now I understand you actually got into the business because another guy who works in officiating got you into the business. Was that Bob Marcus?
That is correct. Bob Marcus and his dad got me into striping. So I've actually been striping for about 9 years, and started my own business. Bob helped me do that when I came over to the west side of the state. So I got my start with Bob, who is a good friend that I met through officiating hockey, and just kind of parlayed it into a career, I guess you could say. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, if it needs to be striped, you're the guy and you want people to reach out to you. What is the quickest, easiest way to do that? What do they do, Tim Mayer?
The quickest, easiest way is to visit shorelinerstriping.com or just email me at shorelinerstriping@gmail.com or give me a call anytime, day or night, 616-536-1985.
Have you ever, were you a linesman before you were a ref?
I was when I first started, way back when I was young. I started that way for 1 year, and then they're like, "Nah, you're gonna be a referee."
Did you ever get punched in the face by when you're trying to break up a fight?
I have not. I've been zipped a couple times, either with sticks or pucks throughout the years, but I normally let the big, taller, linesmen get in the way of all the scrums and whatnot. I just kind of stand back and take notes. I like to stay out of that stuff.
Now, very rarely have I seen you take offense with something that a player says. Is there now if they swear, no big deal, but what if they say something about you personally? Is that a problem?
Yeah, no. I think they kind of have two options when you get to professional hockey. You can fire back if you feel necessary, or you can give them a penalty.
Yeah.
I like to try and keep the mood pretty light when I'm out on the ice, so I try to, I try and avoid that. But yeah, there's definitely the situations where, I don't mind the swearing, I don't mind the yelling, I don't mind the, you're bad or I disagree. But yeah, if you're going to attack me personally, which at that level professionally they're pretty good about.
Right.
If you're going to attack me personally, then yeah, you can sit 2 minutes. But other than that, most of the guys are pretty respectful.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, because I hear all the time and they talk shit about you like you wouldn't believe, man.
Well, when they get in the box, yeah, because they're going to, as soon as they turn my back, they're going to say something.
Holy shit, you should hear what they say about you, man. Oh my God! How about a moment where you know what I should do? I should get like a composite recording of shitty things people say about Tim Mayer, and just I'll be like your snitch.
Well, you might have too much airtime if you do something like that.
How about, have you ever had a really, really rough time with a player or a coach, and then maybe they get thrown out, and then 5 minutes later the game's over, and you see them off the ice? I mean, I bet that must be awkward as shit.
You know what? It's funnier than it actually appears, because it pretty much, tempers run high, and guys are passionate, and they're intense, and the heart rate's up and everything. And most of the time, off the ice, they see you as a human being.
Yeah.
So I've actually thrown out guys out of games, and they'll be in the hallway or whatever, and I might, see them afterwards. And we've been, there's those guys that were like sandpaper, like, hey, stay away from me, I'll stay away from you.
Yeah.
Don't really get along too well.
Right on.
But for the most part, guys are pretty. After 60 minutes is up between the glass, they're pretty down to earth. As you know, hockey guys are good guys, and out there we might want to kill each other.
Right.
But when the game's done, guys tend to just say, "Hey, listen, I was doing my job, you were doing your job," and things kind of boiled over a little bit.
Right on. So, are you, when you get called up to the NHL, you gonna keep striping?
You know what? My time has come and gone. That's never going to happen.
Shut up.
So,
Are you serious?
No. My the way of doing things, I'm too old for that now. So I started. The reason why I kind of Shoreliners has taken off is I said, okay, well, there's no future for me in the National Hockey League, so I would like to continue. Because I worked a lot of international hockey too. I was traveling over to Europe quite a bit and working over there as well. And it was just something that I could do kind of on the side when I started and still be involved with hockey. And thankfully it took off. And now I work a more limited hockey schedule because I can't keep up with everything. Because businesses for the last couple of years has been doing very well.
Yes. Well, that's great, man. That's all you can hope for. That's something like when you set your goal to do something and then it kind of doesn't go exactly as planned, but you still are able to keep your hand in it and have a good time doing it close to home, and you've established yourself here. So that's fantastic. That's always good to hear.
Well, thanks, Zane. And you know what? Hockey's been good to me because every single employee I have right now is a professional hockey ref. So
that's great. And I heard. Do I say Rakuki or Rakuki? How do you say his name?
Yes, Jake Rakuki. He works with us. Ben Golick out of Holland works with us. Pat Richardson, Pat Richardson. He's a linesman, 1967. So we Jimmy Scarpace, and so it's been very good.
All right, so Shoreliners, if anybody needs anything painted, parking lot, striping at work, whatever it may be, you are the guys in the area to call. So shoreliners.com.
We are the guys in the area.
Yes.
And you know what? I understand that budgets might be down, and we're all going through some things right now. So the little service announcement I do want to say is it is a very affordable way to improve your property. It is a very affordable way to improve your business because it's inexpensive and it can turn the front of your building, which is obviously the first thing that any customer of your business sees. It's the doormat to your business is your parking lot.
Right. You want it to look good.
It's an inexpensive. Yep. It's an inexpensive, affordable way to improve your business, or if you're a property owner, property manager, whatever it might be, to improve your property without spending an arm and a leg or a bunch of time and effort. It's very quick. It's very easy, and when we're done. The entire place looks a lot better than when we showed up.
Have you ever put an arrow down and realize it's pointing the wrong direction and you got to start over?
Oh, Zane, I've misspelled words.
You misspelled words. What did you misspell?
I think I put two H's in drive-through once. It was about a 12 or 14-hour day, and we were going nonstop. Now, in my defense, that was about 1, 2 in the morning. We're painting, and I think I spelled drive-through with 2 H's.
Oh, my God, that is great. Oh, my God. Okay.
So, we've had runaway painters. We've had spilled paint, arrows the wrong way,
have you
scraping a whole lot with the wrong color.
Have you ever put?
Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Have you ever put paint over roadkill?
No, we have not painted over roadkill. Have not done that one yet. But I always get a kick out of that when I see that on the road.
Oh my God! All right, shorelinerstriping.com. Shorelinerstriping.com. Call Tim at 616-536-1985. And it's a free quote. He's just a fun guy to talk to, as you can tell. Great personality. Well, all right, that's it, man. I'll be at the rink. Fingers crossed. We got training camp is in September. Can you believe that?
No,
Yeah.
You know what? It'll come quicker than we think. But I'm just hoping that everybody stays safe this summer and that we can start the season on time.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we would be approaching the Calder Cup Finals right about now. Isn't that right? If we were in the season.
Yeah, no, we would definitely be in the midst of that. Just kind of crazy to think about because the season's been done for, over 2 months now?
Right. When the Griffins last won the Calder Cup in 2017, were you there? Were you on the ice for that?
I was there. Yeah, my two of my best friends were working the game. I didn't have me and a couple other buddies. I went down to the game. Todd Nelson and those guys actually left us a bunch of passes for tickets.
Okay.
And we couldn't have it. We didn't have a seat.
Okay.
They just got us into the building.
Yeah.
And so I watched it from the press box. And being a sports fan that I am, obviously I'm in sports, but I've been to tons and tons of cool events over the years. And that one is in the top 3 sporting events that I've ever witnessed and been a part of. Not like on the ice, not involved in the game, but as a spectator, it was one of the coolest experiences and just electric atmospheres that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I can remember it like it was yesterday.
I do too. I remember.
And as you know, as an official, I don't have any, I'm not like you. I don't have an affiliation with the team. Technically, am I rooting for the Griffins? No, I'm not. Nor should I be, but it was just such a cool thing to see. And I was so happy for the city and the fan base and whatnot. But, on one of your early podcasts, I was hearing you talk about, when they won it and everything, and you being 5 feet away doing, your job. It had to have been incredible.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And, I think anyone who was there, just the as whenever there's this type of possibility and you feel the momentum of the game build, you have that idea that, oh my God, and then it's down to the final minute and you announce a minute remaining and you see and the clock can't go fast enough. It's like Micah Ruzioni looking at the clock with against the Russians. Holy crap! And then you feel it building, then the electricity when it lets go, when the clock expires. It was second to none. And it was so loud in there. My God, was it loud?
Oh, it was loud. The building was shaking. Everyone was on their feet. Like, it was absolutely incredible.
Now, one of the linesmen, I don't know if you've ever watched it. What do you call it? Gino Svechnikov left the bench early. And, a lot early. So he just lost control, and he came out on the ice. So right away, it's too many men, and he skated right by the linesman, who could have blown the whistle, actually. And had you ever known that actually happened?
I didn't know. No, I didn't even notice it. Well, I might have at the time noticed, holy cow, yeah, I got too excited and left. But no, I didn't. I didn't really know that.
He left with 4 seconds, about 2.5 seconds left. His feet touched the ice, and then by the time he skated by the linesman, there was still about a second on the clock, and he just kept going. And the Norm Kalenda let the God rest his soul, let the clock run, and that was it, man. Oh man,
unreal. No, it was really cool to be there, see that. Just absolute pandemonium when 000 went on that clock, building. I thought the roof was going to blow off.
Tim Mayer, you're a good guy. I appreciate you, and I'm glad things are going as well as they can for Shoreliners considering the pandemic. So if people just want to keep you in mind, shorelinerstriping.com. And very good. I appreciate you, man.
Please do, and appreciate the help, Zane. Thank you very much for having me, and all the best to well, very entertaining, but I got to give this plug, the best public address announcer among 31 teams and 31 buildings in the American Hockey League.
I'm blushing. I really appreciate that. The way I do it can only be done in Grand Rapids. That's the thing, because if I tried that act in any other town, I think they'd laugh me out of the building,
I think you'd be surprised at how receptive people are to the things you do, the things you say, and how you say them.
Oh, thank you.
I like that fan aspect, and it adds to the game. Believe me.
Oh, while I got you, when one of the linesmen is dropping the puck, like Scarpace in particular, he always hangs on to it way too long, and he, he's never dropped. And is he retired, by the way? Is Scarpace retired from being a linesman?
No, Bobby Marcus retired this
Bobby
year.
Marcus.
Jimmy still works.
Okay, Jimmy. So he'll get there, and then he's always throwing people out of the circle. And then whenever that happens, I often click on the mic and I go, "Come on, do it!" Can you hear that?
Not like during the game, but when you say stuff when we come on the ice for our hot lap before, we hear that. We in our old dressing room there, we had the speaker in there, so we would record. In fact, I have recordings from 7 years ago about when I was a Pilates instructor and I shared a Snuggie with my other rep partner, or I was,
my God!
We were umpires that night, and I was behind home plate.
Yeah.
Calling balls and strikes, just all kinds.
Yeah,
of
I used to make
and
that stuff on the fly.
Just adds,
yeah,
beauty.
and I hope they hook that speaker back up, because that was a great joy knowing that you guys were there huddled around the speaker when I would say that Scarpace is way into Teletubbies or Dungeons and Dragons or whatever it may be, is a Harry Potter cosplay aficionado, just making it all up. So, all right.
Oh, and I'm telling you, it adds to it because you're famous around the league for guys wanting to go there just to get a good chuckle before we got to go out.
Oh, that's very flattering. All right, Mayor, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, buddy.
All right, Zane. Appreciate the help, my friend.
Yeah,
all
buddy.
The best.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care.
See ya. That's Tim Mayer. He owns Shoreliners. He stripes parking lots and whatever the hell you need striped. Shorelinersstriping.com. What he's referring to when they take their hot lap, as a period is usually about 3 minutes left before the intermission ends. Players are going to come back out in about 90 seconds. At about the 3-minute mark, the refs come out and warm up, and they got to, the linesmen set up the nets, make sure there's no holes in the net, and the ref kind of does this thing, waiting for the coach to come out and yell at him. So they do their lap, and when they come out, I try to make a big deal that the refs are back out. So I'll be like, and now, here comes the power. And I really get down deep, try to really get some resonation on the voice. And now, here they are. The power, the strength, the stripes. And Bob Marcus, the guy who just retired. The guy, he skates about as well as former, what do you call it? Boston Bruins defenseman Brad Park used to skate with no bending of the knees. So he's out there skating around like Frankenstein. And I'd be like, look at the strides of Marcus, the elegance of an Olympic figure skater. Bob Marcus. Look at him go, fans. Look at him go. And all the other linesmen, all the refs are laughing. They're like, give it to him. He fucking sucks. Oh, no. Sorry, Marcus. Hopefully he's not listening. Oh, my God. Cannot wait to get back to the rink. Won't be long now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you that. All right, thanks, Tim. Okay. My composite of a pandemic denier. Now, truth be told, as all of this shit, the groundwork has been laid and all the stay-at-home order, don't stay at home, masks, no masks, protest the Capitol, hold the crazy guy holding Governor Whitmer in effigy. Oh, my God, it's just, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, shitheads, it's working. It has worked. Michigan continues to plummet like a stone for infections, and it is because the large majority agree that what has happened has been painful but necessary. And it's almost over. Hell, even if she says you got to stay in the house for a little while longer, it's still almost over. In fact, wouldn't surprise me at all that May 28 comes and goes and she opens up a few more businesses, the governor of Michigan, but still has the stay-at-home order. Now, if you think for a second that she didn't expect people to break the order, I think you'd be fooling yourself. I think she knows that everybody's sick of it, and there are going to be those, and that we've seen them pop up. Hey, got barber shop, beauty salon, drive-in movie theater, whatever. Here and there, people are saying, all right, fuck her. We're just going to do what we want. She knows that. It's going to be okay. I would encourage him not to do that, but I think people are at their wits' end, so I understand. Even though you are a bunch of bumblefucks for breaking the order in the first place, it's to be expected, I think. But I have been thinking about this for quite some time and paying attention in particular to my trips to the grocery store about the typical West Michigan pandemic denier. And I have established a composite of the man, not so much the woman. I've been paying attention to the dudes about what it is about them that I can almost like surmise into like one particular person. Because enough of these people that I've seen without wearing a mask, they carry themselves a certain way, they dress a certain way, and they follow rules horribly in their own particular way. This is what I've come up with. And I'm not saying this because I want to stick, well, I do want to stick my assholes, but I'm doing this based on what I've seen. So don't take offense to what my eyes saw. You did it. It's just me kind of cataloging it into one snowball's composite of assholishness and idiocy and ignorance. Okay? The person who is the composite denier in West Michigan has these things. First of all, they have a aggressive way that they walk. A lot of people in stores these days, they're kind of careful in their path. Most of us, when we're almost like looking 10 steps ahead to see who's ahead so that we don't make it awkward or get in someone's way, because people are very much on edge. And that's another thing I noticed. In general, people at like Meijer, there's very little frivolity, as much as not exactly as going to the grocery store isn't exactly the most fun thing to begin with, but I just feel the tension when I go to Meijer, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And you want to be careful. You don't want to cross in front of somebody or cut them off or be in someone's way or cause them to wait too long. Most people get that. The Eric Zane Show podcast, Pandemic Denier Composite, does not. He's right through the middle of the crowd, doesn't care who he gets in front of, doesn't care who he cuts off. He's moving faster than everybody, and he's aggressive. It's almost like you get the impression that he's judging you or annoyed that you are trying to be careful to not get in their way. You're just trying to look out for everyone else, and that's most people. 90% of the people at Meijer are like that. This pocket of fuckheadery, we kind of see you. We know you're there. We know what you're all about. Now, and this isn't in every part of Michigan. Like if I were to go up to Howard City or to Grayling or to Mecosta or up by Baldwin Ace Hardware, those animals, okay, these people think that it cannot affect them in any way, shape, or form. But all they are is one jackass from Detroit invading their towns and spreading this disease like wildfire. And then you're in trouble because the hospital there can only treat a sunburn. So whatever. Anyway, Meyer pandemic denier composite consists of that in terms of his aggressive nature. He usually has a baseball hat on, but not all the time. If he does have a baseball hat on, it has a bit of an arch on the brim, okay? Maybe a little too much arch. Now, that is indicative of usually coming from a shit kicker part of town, all right? That oftentimes shows up. If they don't have a hat on, the person might look like one of those two guys that are accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. They have that round, doughy, eat too much bacon grease face and an unkempt beard that even if there wasn't a pandemic, they would look that way. They have that appearance to them. Follow them out to the parking lot. They would more than likely be driving a pickup truck. And if it were a pickup truck, it would be a diesel pickup truck, okay? That dude inside of the store probably also wears a pair of boots. If not a pair of boots, sneakers on, and those type of jeans that you see people wear, guys wear, where the pockets are way too big with big swooshes and designs and colorful shit on them. I've just always referred to them as big pocket pants. They're horrible. Ladies, if your guy wears those pants, you don't have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, okay? They're awful. You will never catch me wearing those. They also might be wearing, this is all the guy who doesn't wear the mask, and he's the pandemic denier. Those same pants might have the on the thighs and on the back of the legs faded and scuffed to make it look like they're vintage and old, but really they look like shit. All right. And I hate to say this because this is such a sensitive thing, but I'm telling you with my peepers, and this pains me because I don't like to, this is all very insulting. I understand that, but it is true. More often than not, they're wearing a Michigan Wolverines t-shirt or a Wolverines hoodie. I have no idea why. The pandemic denier, typically on Facebook or Twitter, has a Wolverine emblem on their, like when you see it's them on their social media. I have no idea why. I don't know why this is the thing, but that to me is like, oh boy. Now, I just stay away because when I see them coming, they don't have a mask on to begin with, so I don't want to be in there because they're judging you. Pandemic denier, Michigan fan with no mask, looks at me, and he's like, oh, look at that pussy. That's what he's saying about me. I know it. I know you're saying it. You think I'm part of the problem and an idiot. All right. That is my composite of the Michigan pandemic denier, at least in my neck of the woods. If any of those things describe you, you probably aren't wearing a mask. Today is a shithead convention in downtown Grand Rapids. These morons are getting together, and they're going to have a rally at Rosa Parks Circle. The local TV station, Wood TV8, has covered it, and where the fuck is it? Did I not post it? Okay, here it is.
The governor's stay-at-home orders continue, and we've seen multiple protests in Lansing. Tomorrow, that message will be here in Grand Rapids at Rosa Parks.
Yesterday's story, it's happening tonight.
Circle during the American Patriots rally. News 8's Whitney Burney.
Of course they're patriots. This is what patriots do.
Joins us. She's speaking with organizers.
The American Patriots rally marks the first here in Grand Rapids. Organizers say they're expecting over 1,000 people to fill this plaza. Sunday afternoon, Rosa Parks Circle is quiet and rainy, but Monday, hundreds of people are hoping to make some noise.
We're going to be encouraging that law enforcement officers across the state uphold the Constitution and they don't enforce the illegal executive orders from the governor.
Rally organizer Ryan Kelly says he's not concerned about the virus and wants Michigan to reopen now.
There's been a lot of things happening across the state with businesses shutting down, affecting families in a very negative way. It's been something that has been hard to see from a lot of people's perspective as they put their life savings into their business. People lose their jobs and are affected by how they can afford food for their families.
The rally.
Guys like this think that Whitmer, well, first of all, he doesn't believe that the virus is serious. So that's just shows you how stupid this person is. Okay, this is a stupid person acting like he knows what the fuck. So in his mind, virus isn't a thing, okay? Not to be worried about. Virus is not a thing, not to be worried about. And her saying stay home so you don't get other people sick is, he uses words like tyranny and oppression and, us patriots have to get together and rebel against the tyranny. He thinks that he's living in a false world. Okay.
Wow. Okay, that's really ignorant.
Follow several in Lansing with similar messaging. Despite protests, Governor Whitmer has stayed firm in her stance that the stay-at-home order is a life-saving measure, and the state will reopen when it's safe to do so.
We will get to a point where each of these sectors is re-engaged, but we have to be smart about it. And impatience that flies in the face of science,
Leroy Jenkins,
is dangerous. It's dangerous to all of us.
Monday's protest will bring several out-of-state speakers. Organizers say Berry County Sheriff Dar Leaf will also speak. Grand Rapids Police Department will be at the protest.
Berry County, so those cops there, the county sheriff there, they don't even have to graduate middle school.
Too, but say they are in no way participating or associated with the event. They say they will be there only to ensure safety. Organizers say they hope the governor receives their message.
Exactly what we're doing as the people. We're holding the governor accountable. We're holding the government accountable. And who runs the state is the people. We the people do.
What are you talking about, man? All these people have died, and these people just don't think that it has it. They think that she's doing it just to be mean.
The rally tomorrow will start at 5:30 p.m. Organizers say they're not requiring that people wear masks. In Grand Rapids, Whitney Burney, News 8.
Thank you, Whitney Burney. We appreciate you joining us, Whitney. All right, so there you go. Something to avoid, asshole convention downtown. Shitheads will be out. I was tempted to reach out to one Stu McAllister. And him and I get some super soakers and dress up in Ted Nugent cosplay and show up down there. But I'm afraid we'll get our asses kicked. These guys are serious. That's all they want to do is kick ass. So, I'm sure this will be a thing. Hopefully it rains all day on them and they don't show up. But whatever. I have no show on Friday and Monday, no live show. I will have material for you, and I'm actually pretty excited about it because I have in my possession several discs full of archive material from the last time that I was successful on the radio, and I've been listening to it, and I love it. I was a little bit scared to listen to it. I thought I'd feel bad. But it's taken the material I have for you for Friday's show is the one I've gone through is from 2013, and it's a whole show. I lifted an entire show from when I worked with Greg and Chris on Free Beer and Hot Wings, and it is January 22nd. It's just a random date, January 22nd, 2013. And I had forgotten how much fun I had, because I really enjoyed listening to it, and I think I really enjoyed doing the show. It's just, I don't know. It was great. And so I've heard people say in the past that they want what's called an unscoped show. An unscoped show is one that's not interrupted in any way. It just plays through. And I have that. So I have a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. show nonstop that you can download on Friday. It'll be an audio podcast only. It even includes the local break after. So I'm doing that on Friday, and I'm doing that on Monday, taking a little time off for the Memorial Day holiday. And I really want to encourage you to listen. I tell you what, listening to it, because it was just Eric, Greg, Chris, and Joe was kind of in the background, and I posted a little teaser clip to it. And there was the moment in particular was just a 3-minute clip of just Greg kind of setting it up, and then the three knuckleheads, Chris, Eric, and Joe, throwing all these stupid-ass jokes at it. And God, I really had a good time listening to it. So I hope you like it. It'll be on Friday And Monday, I'll have 2 whole unscoped shows for you. But this show right now is brought to you by the Kent County Health Department, 616-632-7200. They are encouraging you to do this. First of all, don't be like my composite of the pandemic denier. This is a very real disease that has killed, well, by the end of the week, it'll be probably 100,000 Americans, okay? So just think about that. Cough into your elbow. Keep your distance from people. We're doing a great job of squashing this thing down. There was only 11 people that died in Michigan yesterday, so it is working. Thank you to all of those who have followed the rules. Wash your hands. Keep the hand sanitizer with you. Be vigilant about it, and we'll eventually get back to it. That is a reminder from the Kent County Health Department. Also, they want you to call them at 616-632-7200. If you are considering, you're like, okay, I'm not working. I need money and I need food. The WIC program is there for you, 616-632-7200. If you qualify, you get a card loaded with cash. You go to the store and you buy that stuff. All the WIC-approved food, like bread, milk, eggs, cheese, cereal. Feed your family with WIC. Again, I say it all the time. You pay into it your whole life. There might come a time when you need it. If that time is now, call upon them. Blue Frost IT is the managed IT service provider for the show, 616-200-8550. Okay? If your business gets in the weeds with tech, that's who you call. You have a tech department. Now, you might not be signed up for the regular monthly checkups that they do for you, but they have an hourly rate to get you started. And normally that's a certain price, and they've cut it in half during the pandemic till at least May 28th. So if your company has employees working from home and they're like, oh, man, I don't know what happened. My kid got in on the computer that I use for, architectural work and was looking at porno, and now there's a big BBC right over my drawing for that building. You got to call Blue Frost IT at 616-200-8550. That meme of that big black dude on the bed with that monster cranks just floating all over my screen. Get it off. No, don't get him off. Get the thing off. 616-200-8550. Okay, the drive-in is open. There's been people that have been stepping out to say, hey, man, I don't care anymore. I'm defying the governor's order. Now, you had the old man in Owasso who was cutting hair. And finally, he said, screw you, I'm gonna go do it. I'm not going to be shut down. And then Nessel made an example out of him, pulled his license. Oh, God, what a shit show. There's been some chick up in Cadillac who opened up her hair salon up north. All right, I get it. Some people are going to break the rules. Well, in Coldwater, Michigan, southwest Michigan town, they opened up the Capri Drive-In Theater, and I can't believe anybody went because you know what the movie was? Fucking Smokey and the Bandit. You know you live in a hillbilly community when the first fucking movie that they open up on opening night is Smokey and the Bandit. Like, who the hell is going to go see Smokey and the Bandit? Well, apparently the hillbillies in Coldwater because the place was packed. Cars lined up for an estimated quarter mile to get into the Capri Drive-In Theater Friday. Opened up in defiance of the governor's stay-at-home order. All right. The owner is Tom Maggox. Co-owns the theater with his wife. They said they had things in place to make it so that it wasn't a free-for-all. All right, so people are... What they did was they did think it through, so I give them credit for that. I don't like that they defy the order because what that also does, it lays the groundwork for possibly everybody else opening up. And I think the big picture here is often missed, and I said it on this show, and the big picture is if you have small communities like that and the wrong thing happens, you could cause a flare-up of this disease very quickly, and then you have a small community that doesn't have the infrastructure to support that degree of illness coverage in deep, deep doo-doo. And who wants to do that? But these people have had it. They're gonna do what they want, and they're gonna break this order. Smokey and the Bandit and Trolls appeared on the theater soon after dark. And with Jurassic, boy, they really dust out all the current movies, dust them off. Jurassic Park also. So they were out in full force. Magog says his business is open with modifications amid the pandemic, putting more space between cars, allowing people to bring food from home for a fee. All right. Snack bar opens for delivery only. Employees will carry items to customers' cars while wearing protective gear. All right. I like that he was proactive, at least. He's better than the dickhead at Meyer I was talking about. You can't sit outside in lawn chairs. Kids cannot play in the play area. So it sounds like he's got a plan. Now, at the end of the day, I would hate it if, if he does get shut down, he gets shut down. He knows what he's doing. If he gets a complaint, they would have to shut him down, but there haven't been any. And the police were there, and if someone complains, they're going to have to shut them down. All right. We shall see. I hate going to the frickin' drive-thru. I was talking with Ron, and he's like, yeah, hey, man, you got to go to the Getty Drive-In, man, in Muskegon. And so I did. It's a few years ago. Now, the last thing you want to do, though, is go during the summer. But, if you can go the spring or the fall, maybe. But in the summer in West Michigan, it gets dark at like 1 in the morning. And they don't start the movie until it's dark. So it's just like, man, it's 9 o'clock and they haven't even started the first movie. You got to sit through a double feature. Plus the let's go to the snack bar and get ourselves a snack thing. My God, no thanks. I'll watch it at home. You get there, and then you got to sit in your car. It's not comfortable. Your ass hurts by the time you're sitting there for that long. No thanks. Hey, the clutter in the house might kill me. This is a story I want to tell you about. It happened to me twice on Saturday. I fell down twice, rolled ankle on the ground. This is how it unfolded at my house. I've been saying this for the longest time. Get rid of the clutter by the back door. There's this door that leads into the garage. You open it, step outside. Everybody just drops their shoes off right there. And it isn't like they drop their shoes off to the side by the back door. It's actually where you step. So, sure enough, Saturday, I open the door. I take one step. Half of my foot lands on a Hoka slide, which is like 6 inches of shoe. And the other half is on the ground. My ankle folds like a Portuguese man of war. I hear it go crickety-clack, flappity-crack-a-muppety. Could very easily have broken my ankle in half. And I went down. And so I'm laying on the floor of the garage. Last time I was laying on the floor of the garage like that was when I got fired from Free Beer and Hot Wings. I was telling the story about how I wanted to off myself. So I'm laying there. I'm like, oh, my God. Diana! I scream her name out. What? I go, this is what I'm talking about. How many times have I told you that this shit cannot lay here? This is ridiculous. I take the fucking shoe. I throw it across the garage. They're all laughing. Not done. The day goes on. Later on in the day, I think it was Jacqueline and Justin and Madison and her boyfriend Dylan wanted to shoot golf balls in the backyard. That's what it was. Because I remember they were shooting golf balls by the bird's nest. And I said, get the hell away from the nest. You're going to scare the mom. Which, by the way, those birds hatched, and one of the birds croaked, one of the babies. We found it dead on the sidewalk. I think either the mom or dad died, and one of the babies died. I was like, oh, my God. So anyway, they're playing golf in the backyard. When they got done, they took the bag of golf balls and set it right where the same spot where the shoes were. But I didn't think to move them when I moved the shoe. And sure enough, I took one step out of the house and stepped on a bag of golf balls. Now, that's absolute horror. What a disaster that is. I went down again, second time in a day. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Why don't we get spike strips, put them down here, maybe a few roller skates, mouse and rat traps. Get some pool balls. We can put those down. Empty or full beer cans and just lay them on the ground and take all the light bulbs out so we can't see. Someone's trying to kill me in the house. In the next segment, I need to talk about something that you might recall. It was 10 years ago that Detroit Tigers pitcher Armando Galarraga threw a perfect game, or so we thought. Why is this story coming back around? My God, you won't believe it. I'll tell you about it, and I'm going to play you some audio that's going to piss you off all over again in just a second. Hey, Father's Day is coming up. Do not forget about your dad or the father of the kids, okay? Ladies, if the father of the kids, your husband, your boyfriend, your ex, doesn't matter, is a father, this is for all fathers. I want you to think about them because I love doing cameos for people on special days. I did it for Mother's Day. I want to do it for Father's Day, too. To book me, you have to go to cameo.com/Eric Zane. Let me do a cameo for Dad. This is so much fun. You're going to love it. Now, you give me specific details, whether you want me to be mean, nice, roast them, not roast them, kind, sweet, whatever. It doesn't matter. You give me the directions. You're hiring me. It's only going to set you back $15.95. No problem, and it's so much better than a gift card. If they like the show, they're going to love this, okay? Forget the card. Forget the gift card to fucking Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever shit show that is. Have me give them a gift that they will have forever, and they will get such a kick out of. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Okay. TC Paintball, tcpaintball.com. That's where you go to buy your paintball in advance as we try to wind down from the stay-at-home order. Hopefully, we'll be playing paintball before you know it. If you've ever played paintball with me and you're going to play again with me for the Paintball Wars, would you buy it in advance? That'll help Rick through to the other side as he can earn zero income during the pandemic. tcpaintball.com. You're going to play paintball anyway. What the hell? Why not just buy it now? You can also call Rick when they open up at 616-249-8227. You can find him at tcpaintball.com or tcpaintballgr.com more specifically. And just scroll down, spend $90, you get $100 worth of paintball at TC Paintball. And finally, Terrytown RV. Okay, so, you know, you're like, well, I want to get a camper, RV, fifth wheel, travel trailer, motorhome, folding camper, but formerly known as a pop-up. Truck camper, but, you know, it's a pandemic. I can't. Yeah, you can do it, man. Call them at 616-236-2754. After you look online, tell them which one you want a closer look at. They'll bring it up to the front. You go to their place on Division between 68th and 76th Street, march in there, look at it, and then you say, I'm in, man. Sign me up. Social distancing in effect. They're going to sell you a camper from Terrytown RV. Online at terrytownrv.com. And do mention, as with all of my sponsors, that you heard it here on the Eric Zane Show podcast. If you don't know, a perfect game in baseball is incredibly rare. It's like a no-hitter on steroids. Because you can throw a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher, you know, nobody gets a hit. It's a great, great thing. Nolan Ryan's throwing a bunch of them. Justin Verlander's throwing a bunch of them. You throw a no-hitter, that's a big-ass deal. You can walk a batter in a no-hitter. A batter can get hit by a pitch in a no-hitter, and it still counts as a no-hitter, all right? In a perfect game, the pitcher is facing the minimum number of batters and gets them out in order. Think about that. There's 27 batters in a baseball game. That means the pitcher is on fire from the first batter to the last batter. Imagine that. 27 straight outs. They go, attaboy, when a pitcher gets 3 outs in a row. 27 outs. The pitcher is untouchable. There's usually a key defensive play once or twice because if the batter gets on, because of an error in fielding, the perfect game is over. No more perfect game. A perfect game can only be 27 up, 27 down. And for the longest time, it didn't happen that often. In the past few years, it's happened with a little more frequency. I think the last one was a guy by the name of, I think it was Felix Hernandez, just a handful of years ago. And in 2010, the Tigers' Armando Galarraga had retired 26 in a row. This is just a few weeks after a guy by the name of Roy Halladay got a perfect game. So to have one so close after, I don't even know the time frame. It might have been days even from Holiday's for Galarraga to throw a perfect game. I mean, it's like never happened. It would have been the shortest interval of time between perfect games. And I think it hadn't even happened like 30 times in the history of baseball. Baseball's been around for 150 years. There's only been like a couple dozen happen. Okay? So, and I think the number is like 230,000 games, and it hasn't even happened 30 times. So that's how rare this is. If you throw a perfect game, you can be shitty your whole career. But if you threw a perfect game, you are glorified. You are, for one day, the best pitcher on the planet ever. Well, only a handful of others have done it. So you enter a very, very, very rare air. I can't talk. Sorry. Galarraga has gotten out 26 guys in this game. And I'll never forget it. He's facing the 27th batter. The guy hits a ground ball. Little tricky because Galarraga has to cover first base as Cabrera camps to the right and fields the ball cleanly. Cabrera throws the ball to Galarraga, who, as it's caught into his glove, he steps on first base, and the guy is out. In fact, the runner took not one, but two more steps after he got him out. It was so crazy, you could have called it from outer space that he was out. And that's it. He did it. Armando Galarraga has just pitched a perfect game. But the guy on first, the umpire, Jim Joyce, said safe. And it wasn't like it was close, okay? It was right there, 10 feet away, looking at the bat. To this day, no one knows what happened as to how he could have seen otherwise. But he ruined it. He called him safe. Armando Galarraga, 10 years later, now says he wants baseball to overturn the call. Let's go back in time, first of all, to this horrible event as it unfolded.
Jason Donald and a crowd of better than 17,000 to its feet.
The guy we've been waiting for all night.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe. He is safe at first base. And here comes Jim Leyland.
Mario and Rod are probably punching each other in the face.
Oh, my goodness. Jim Joyce said he was safe at first base. You make the call.
They're watching it right now.
Cabrera, Galarraga.
Did he miss the base? He's out. Why is he safe?
He must have missed the base.
Are you kidding me? Why is he safe?
You see right here.
Why is he safe? Oh my goodness, Jim Joyce, no!
Oh, jeez Louise.
I'm just sick hearing it.
Oh my goodness.
What a travesty. What an absolute travesty for Armando Galarraga.
It was so fucked up, man.
Bouncing ball left side, Brandon in. I have never been this disappointed after a Tigers win.
Oh my goodness.
Armando Galarraga. What an outstanding performance tonight.
Now, after that ends, the players went after Jim Joyce. I thought Cabrera was going to kill him. I thought Leland was going to kill him.
feel for you.
Look at these players.
Unbelievable.
They're killing him.
Players shouldn't get too much in Jim Joyce's face, though,
Yeah,
because
they
it's
should.
all said and
They
done.
should have beat the shit out of him right
It's
there.
done.
It's over. Tigers win it here tonight.
At least Jim Joyce is standing there and taking it like a man.
He is doing that. And Jim Leland is letting him have it. So the Tigers players let him have it. I don't know, Rod. I don't know how to describe this.
I don't know, Rod. Yeah, fuck you, Mario.
I just feel so bad for Armando Galarraga. What an effort tonight for Armando.
All right, now at that point in time, Jim Joyce was convinced he got it right. And the whole world saw it. It wasn't right. Joyce goes back to the locker room. 1 minute later, he sees the video and goes, "Oh, my God, he was safe." Okay? Holy shit. And then he has a press conference. And this was, he owned this. This is now, okay, he watched it, and then 5 minutes later, they put a camera on him, and this is what he had to say.
You got the call correct.
No, I did not get the call correct. I kicked the out of it.
Kicked the shit out of it. Okay, so now he is ruined. And this, his forthright attitude here was incredible. But you are hearing a man who is depressed beyond belief. He is going through so much turmoil over what he did. He beats himself up. Listen to this. I felt so bad after seeing Jim Joyce. I wanted to kill him at first, and then I heard this, and I went, "Oh fuck, man! He was human. He made a mistake, and he's owning it. Fuck."
No, I did. I had a great angle on it. I had a great positioning on it. I just missed the damn call. I missed it. I missed it from here to the wall.
Did you, when you and Leland were talking after the game, did you tell him the same?
Pardon me?
When you and Jim were talking after the game, did you tell him you missed the call?
No, I did not tell him I missed the call because at that particular time, I really thought I got the call right. I really thought I got the call right.
Did you think...
I thought he beat the play. I thought he beat him to the bag.
How? How the fuck could you do that? You've seen closer plays than that by a ton and always gotten it right. How can by you fucking for 2 steps be looking at it and not get it right?
And
How?
I thought he beat it at that particular time. I thought he beat the play, and now that I'm standing here and I've seen it on the replay, and naturally every Tiger out there was telling me that I had kicked the call because they'd seen the replay. So the first thing I did when I got in this locker room was I told the Tim, our clubhouse guy, to cue it up. And
I wish there was. I'd like to be a fly on the wall when he saw it, because he'd go, "Ah! Oh no, I did it."
I missed it. I missed it.
Obviously, you're never happy when you miss a call.
This isn't a call. This is a history call. And I kicked the shit out of it. And there's nobody that feels worse than I do. I take pride in this job, and I kicked the shit out of that, and I took a perfect game away from that kid over there that worked his ass off all night.
Oh, my God. You know what? He's fucking hyperventilating. Listen to him.
I just thought he got, I thought he beat the play. That's it. There was nothing else.
I love Jim Joyce. Jim Joyce, man, this whole thing was an exercise in right and wrong. Wrong. Well, the mistake he made obviously was a mistake, so he didn't intentionally do anything. But him, the response by Galarraga at the time, the emotion by the Tigers, the emotion by the fans. What a story! And then this guy immediately owning it, and the stepping up and facing the music like that. You don't see this that often. This is absolutely fantastic.
Where do you, I guess, go from here?
Very good on him.
What do you say to them on Major League Baseball, or just your life moves on?
I don't know what the questions are for yet, to tell you the truth. I'm sure that I'm going to get a call that asks me what happened, and I'm just going to, what do I say? I missed it. I missed it. is probably the most important call in my career, and I missed it.
Holy shit. This guy.
Because of the very unique circumstances of it being 2 outs in the ninth inning, is there any way that the commissioner, is there any way that they can in any way restore and or...
You have to ask the commissioner's office that.
Jim, not to beat yourself up here too much. I mean, this is called a human being here that you are, and we all are here, and we all know that things sometimes happen. And
somebody's eating in the background.
Is there any forgiveness of yourself here tonight?
Not tonight, not yet. I don't know. I've never been through this.
Who's eating spaghetti in the room?
I've never had something like this happen to me.
Wow.
Do you plan to talk it all with Galarraga?
I haven't gotten that far yet. I've had a lot of thoughts going through my head right now.
How bad were the guys after the ball game? Was there anything close to a confrontation there from your perspective?
You know what? I don't blame them. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't blame any one of those guys over there for saying whatever they said to me, because I'm going to tell you right now it was all a blur anyway. I don't blame not one person over there. I would have done the same thing. I kicked the of it.
Man, was that tough. That's as tough now as it was then. I'm mad all over again that it happened. I feel bad for Galarraga again. I feel bad for Jim Joyce again. Oh, my God. How? I'll never forget watching it and like going, yeah, what? Huh? I'll never, ever forget that. So Galarraga, he's now 10 years later. I don't understand the timing on this. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I guess I could see that. He didn't have that long of a career. He only pitched till he was about 30, and he said, I'm out of here. I'm going back to Venezuela. It's a lot of wear and tear on my body, and I'm done. He was a journeyman pitcher at best, but for one night, he was one of the best pitchers ever for one night, and then it faded away. And now he wants baseball to give it to him. I was a little off. There's only been 23 perfect games in the history of baseball. And this article from the Tampa Bay Times says it should be 24. There is a base from the Tigers-Indians game in Detroit on June 2nd, 2010, up in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, with a marker on the side that reads near perfect. I didn't know that. They actually put it in there. They took the base and put it in the Hall of Fame with Armando Galarraga's name etched below. Fuck, how'd you like to be Jim Joyce, knowing that you fucking something up is in the Hall of Fame? Oh, my God, awful. That is really, really tough. I don't know how he gets over it. And now that this story has reemerged, I bet you if he feels like shit all over again. Excuse me. So he's reaching out to baseball, trying to get that to change. He says, I was like, what can I do to have a better finish to the story? Galarraga told the Athletic website in a story published last week. How can Major League Baseball give me the perfect game? Because it was perfect, right? And at first when I heard this, I was like, no, that come on. But then I got to thinking about it. I was like, he was out. The game was over. Why not? What's the big deal? Turn it around. Give him the perfect. The 38-year-old who's been retired from the game for 8 years, he says, why wait for so long? I don't want to die, and then they'll be like, you know what? He threw a perfect game. The article says if you rewatch the footage of the game, he clearly beat Jason Donald to the bag to get the out. Jim Joyce weighed in, and he said, I agree with him. I agree because he did it. Even Joyce, who retired after the 2016 season, knew he made the wrong call. He asked then Commissioner Bud Selig to overturn the call during the season. So even the ump said, look, man, you got to overturn this thing. And Selig won't do it. And I've never understood baseball, sometimes just some of the shit that they pull, even in sports in general. Why do you do that? Selig has never changed the ruling. He says it could set a bad precedent for overturning other bad or controversial calls. Well, Yeah, but this is obvious, and it has no bearing on anything. It has none, considering the fact that after the blown call, he got the next guy out. The game is over. All you have to do is flip it. Give this guy a ceremony. Give him 27 up, 27 down. Add his name to the record books. Who gives a shit if it sets the precedent? You're the boss. I mean, look at it. He was out. He says it could it sets a bad precedent for bad or controversial calls. And it's like, well, it's really not controversial. He was out by a lot. Fans still view Galarraga, who retired after 6 seasons because of the wear and tear, as a perfect pitcher. Even then, Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm issued a proclamation saying the state recognized his perfect game. Oh, give the guy his perfect game. My God. Horrible. Hey, I got one more thing to talk to you about, and that is trouble in the hometown of one Joe Hicketts. Hell, if you watch the Hockey Heaven podcast or listen to it with Baldwin Ace Hardware's Mike Gilmore, I had Joe Hicketts from Kamloops, BC. I had, of course, Matt Pumple from Essex, Ontario. Gil Murray's up north in Baldwin, not wearing a mask. And so we did the Hockey Heaven podcast. Joe from Kamloops, which is a medium-sized town in the middle of British Columbia. Beautiful scenery up there in Kamloops. Something terrible happened in Kamloops yesterday, and Joe Hicketts' brother is involved. Somewhat. You won't believe it. But first, I've got more podcasting to do, and this one is all done. It is via Patreon. That is another way for the Eric Zane Show podcast to stay afloat and do just this for a living. Podcast. What it is, it's an extra daily podcast plus a number of great freebies for you. And it's gonna cost you $5 a month. That is a pittance for what I give you. A fresh podcast every single day of the week. You can play Fear Bunker Trivia, Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia for cash from Bennett Flooring Installation. You can join me on Meathead's virtual meetup on Zoom with my dad. You get the live streams of the daily podcast, and it's all there for you. Plus, if you sign up for $10 a month, I'll buy you a T-shirt. Okay? It's all at patreon.com/Eric Zane, or just sign up via my website and check it out that way. I do have Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia today. I'm going to record that with Colin taking on Dale at around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So in about 49 minutes, we will start on Patreon with the live stream of that. But, you know, the freebie is brought to you by the sponsors. They're the ones who keep it going. And JM Synthetics. They bring you AMSOIL products, and you order them from Zaniac Jason at JM Synthetics at jmsynthetics.com. AMSOIL invented synthetic motor oil, and I want you to buy it from Jason. They've got a ton of other products that are also available to the preferred customers. Preferred customers, it's a membership. You pay $20 for it, okay? And then you can get all the other products that AMSOIL specializes in. And you have to be a preferred customer to get those, okay? All the gear lubes and the gun cleaner and the bar and chain oil, all there at jmsynthetics.com. But here's what you do. You pay $20 to become a preferred customer, and then you spend $100 through Jason, and he's going to give you that $20 back. That's a great deal. Be a preferred customer for free. Hell, if he didn't give you that $20 back, you would already be saving on those products. It's kind of like a Costco membership for you gearheads and your DIY projects. jmsynthetics.com. Please patronize Jason. Mention the Eric Zane Show podcast. And last but certainly not least, they're having a great time delivering their products via online order and curbside pickup. Horizon Hydroponics. You people have really stepped up, and you said, you know what, we're not going to let the pandemic let our plants die. We need the right stuff to keep them growing indoors. Horizon Hydroponics, Horizen, hydroponics.com. You can order online. Shipping is free if you order $250 or more of products. You can call in your order, too, at 866-791-1664. And they'll send it to you, or curbside in Grand Rapids, Byron Center, Lansing, or Kalamazoo at 877-791-1664. All right. So I see there's a story out of Canada yesterday that the Canadians launched their version of the Blue Angels. And I don't know how this is, man, but it seems like those type of pilots, it seems like every handful of years, you hear about a member of the Blue Angels, or in this case, what are they called? The Snowbirds. They're actually called the Snowbirds in Canada. There's always something that goes haywire. Like the plane goes right into the ground, or flies into a crowd of people, or hits the ocean, or they have the ejection seat out. What happened again has actually happened yesterday in Kamloops, British Columbia. Canadian aerobatic jet crashed after takeoff. The flyover was intended to boost morale during the pandemic. One crew member killed, the other crew member seriously injured after ejecting. The guy who ejected, guy or girl, I don't know what it is not going to die but was badly hurt. Video shows that. You can see the guy flying out of the thing, or girl. The debris scattered across the neighborhood near the airport in Kamloops. The Royal Canadian Air Force said in a tweet, they're very sorry. My God, it's so terrible. Video showed two of the Snowbirds taking off from the Kamloops airport. One of the aircraft subsequently climbed into the sky, and then somehow it rolled, and then it just curved down and went right into the ground. Ejection happens. Person in the plane did not survive. Massive explosion heard. Fire. Plane basically went down in a neighborhood. So I reach out to Joe Hicketts. I go, hey, man, plane crash in your neck of the woods. My God, was it close? He writes, yeah, it was. I go, oh, my God, Jesus, you probably heard it. He goes, yeah. In fact, the guy who ejected landed on the house right across the street from my brother's house. What? Joey Hickett's brother is sitting there drinking a Labatt, probably watching the Hockey Heaven podcast, and he hears something going down, and the chute didn't deploy all the way on the guy who flew out of the plane, so the chute is slowing the descent somewhat. But the dude crashed down into the roof, the roof of the house right across the street from Hickett's brother. Holy crap. I'm thinking maybe I should try to get Joey on the podcast, but I'm afraid if I do it, it'll, there's no way to do it. Hell, I'd screw it up. I wonder if I can get him here. Hang on. Hickey. No, I don't have him logged in. Maybe. I don't know. Call Joey? No, I don't have the number. Shit. So anyway, he's sitting there. He sees the guy land, and they're like, oh, my God. So people go rushing out of the place. They try to help this guy. And then, meanwhile, there's a fire going on in the neighborhood. Unbelievable. People were just freaking out. The fact that this happened again for this time, the Canadians, the Snowbirds, unbelievable. And the fact that somebody I know, his brother, right across the street is where the guy who ejected, or girl, landed on the roof of that house. Incredible. All right. I'm running out of time, talent, ideas, and thoughts, as you can tell, as I scrape the bottom of the barrel, ending on a terribly low note. So I apologize for that. Oh, well. We need something to lighten the mood. I got just the thing.
This is a softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging. Nice boobs, Kyler.
We're getting...
Binging! Binging! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Binging! Binging! Let's go! Let's go!
All right. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you being part of this podcast. Any thoughts? Send them along. Eric at EricZaneShow.com. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Wednesday, we're doing the Instagram Instant Trivia brought to you by, of course, Little Debbie's from MB Distributing Incorporated and Baldwin Ace Hardware. Till next time, I'll talk to you then. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you didn't, please fuck off. See you. Bye-bye.